Fred Richani here for the SportsCourier.com at the Action Martial Arts Hall of Fame Mega Weekend in Atlantic City with one of our favorite guests, UFC Hall of Famer Dan "The Beast" Severn. How you doing, Dan?
I'm fabulous there, Fred. Fabulous. Can't beat it. It's a martial arts extravaganza all around us. Behind the curtain, you got people competing in taekwondo, karate, judo, and all around us, all the various vendors. And behind there, seminars taking place. You name it, it's all here.
And you seem to be in a very happy mood for a guy that just recently retired. And a lot of times guys say, oh, maybe I'll hang it up, maybe I won't. I've interviewed you the last 3-4 years, and every time I ask you, you're like, well, you know, maybe I'll still do some Greco-Roman wrestling, maybe I'll still punch some guys in the face. What made you finally decide to hang up the gloves?
Well, I had been contemplating retirement for like the last 3-4 years, but I was hoping for just one more big match to go out on. So I'm a big believer of simply taking your destiny into your own hands. I reached out to a few people. You know, they basically had interest in doing a match, but for whatever reasons, those matches did not materialize. And I'm like, I'm not going to wait around until you guys finally decide to do something. I'm moving on with my life. So I put out a press release as of December 2011, letting all the various promoters and promotions know that if you were thinking about utilizing my skills, it better happen in the course of 2012, because at the end of it, I'm done. And here it is, I'm done. But think of it only as taking one iron out of the fire and throwing 3 more right back into it.
Well, we know you have your Danger Zone Training Center. You're doing all that. You're here doing some seminars. What else are you doing in life after the cage?
Fred, you don't have enough time. That battery will run out by the time I get done saying all the things that I have going on. I've been probably one of the most busiest guys prior to ever starting a cage fighting career. And, you know, I'm doing a lot of good things that I think a lot of people will find quite interesting. I'll throw that out as a teaser and simply say, if you want to know more about the man they call the Beast, simply go to DanSevern.com, and they'll know all they need to know.
Of course, and you are a wrestler by trade.
Yes.
Recently, the new season of The Ultimate Fighter began. Jon Jones versus Chael Sonnen, and their team's going at it on Tough. Nobody has given Chael Sonnen a chance. Is there any conceivable way you could see him utilizing his wrestling and somehow, some way upsetting Mr. Jones?
I would never count anybody out when it comes to a match. Things simply happen, you know. So I've learned that myself in my own career. Never count anyone out when I thought I was going into a lesser than type of a situation. So both men best keep their guard up and use the attributes that brought him there in the first place.
And you mentioned not keeping your guard up. I'm assuming you're talking about your matchup with Royce Gracie. And I understand you were actually trying to get a rematch with him around the time, I believe, of UFC 134 when they were going to Brazil. Because I know Royce was angling for some type of match on the card. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. How close were you to getting that rematch with Royce Gracie?
Well, it was brought to my attention that he had made UFC officials aware that he had interest in being part of that card. When a couple of friends of mine brought that to my attention, I quickly contacted UFC to let them know that if this was to take place, that Royce wouldn't be in the card, I wanted to throw my name in the hat as one of the potential candidates as an opponent for him, just because I think it would have been marketable. There would have been history, and to do that all right there in Brazil would have been huge. So I don't know how close it ever was, but at least I made my wants be known.
Absolutely. And one guy that you had the pleasure of mentoring who's become a great fighter is Sugar Rashad Evans. He's taken on Antonio Rogerio Nogueira at the time we were conducting this interview at UFC 156. There's been talks of if he wins this fight, he'll cut down to 185 and challenge Anderson Silva for the middleweight championship. What do you think of his chances against a Spider who's been absolutely unstoppable the last 6 years?
You know, Rashad is a very intelligent fighter. He has the tools. He has that mindset. He can do whatever he wants to do. It's just what are his goals and his aspirations. So don't count Rashad out. He's a good guy, and watch out.
And you are a good guy. You are promoting a positive message, as are we with our friends at Bullying. We're Kicking It. We've talked to you before about their great cause. Can you just explain to us what they're doing and how we're combating bullying together.
Well, I mean, it's a combination of things. Obviously, you see like the banner here behind us, but the Kicking It program, they're all about making a difference there amongst kids. You know, because we live in a different world now today is with the cyber world. So bullying, it's not just simply out on the playground and just picking on kids in a physical type of way. It's more this mental type of thing of just saying names. It's kind of sad that it results of that. I mean, there are some old little rhymes you can put out there that sticks and stones may break your bones, but names should never hurt you. But you know, it is interesting though when you look at what is happening and how people can bully you and be a coward themselves, because it's not like they'll attach their name to it, so you don't know where the sources come from. So that if they were reported to authorities, you know, they're hiding. So it's just a coward picking on some innocent person. So I like for what the Kicking It stands for, you know, making a difference. That's what my life has always been about, making a difference. And the biggest thing is being involved with kids.
Well, Dan Severn, great message as always. You're a great guy. He's Dan to be Severn UFC Hall of Famer. I'm Fred Richani. We're the Sports Courier, and we're kicking bullying together.